Hello, Froggy here, and today we'll be getting to the beginning of the Vow of the Disciple raid from a Rhulk CP. That means that even from the boss CP, you can still get the bonus red chest. To do this, you'll need at least 3 people to help set up the CP. One person will be staying back at the boss, another will be doing most of the route, and the third just needs to join and leave here and there. It's definitely easiest to do on a Titan. You could possibly manage it on other classes, but Titan's definitely the easiest, and once you have it set up, you can just swap to whatever class you want for the boss. If you look back at where the first switch would be, you'll notice that it isn't there. That's because we haven't activated the totem yet. There's a hole to get inside there, but Bachmanetti found that it is much easier to just go on the outside here. I would highly recommend that route instead, but I will show you the inner one later. You'll want to drop down and turn right as Rhulk talks at you. You may get some pervading darkness, but shouldn't be too much.
You sought harm, but performed aid. The upended will live out its
Rhulk and his upended.
This world will be sealed from the light.
Just one more right, and we will be pretty much through this part.
Serve the deserving. You will
There
not
isn't
rise,
actually all that much out of map in this route.
drown in it.
Just going to drop back sort of in map here. We are past the load zone, so we'll be hitting it from the other side here. It doesn't really matter if you die to this load. We just want to be in this room. The door will close eventually, but you get a fairly long time to decide which way you want to go. At this point, we're going to utilize a little bit of tech that Henry and I had only discovered the day before I found this route. You're going to want to make sure that you are the party leader, and then have a buddy join. From here on out, we're going to be using Salvation's Grip a fair bit. So wait for your buddy to join, then promote them to leader. At this point, you can go and grab ammo. If you don't need ammo, go anyways. It is vitally important that you leave and rejoin. I like to go to Empire hunts on Master to get instant free ammo. We're going to be utilizing fallback points. Henry and I discovered that there is a default fallback, and that's what you get when you join a fire team. Had we not have left and rejoined, the fallback would be exactly where we just spawned. But because we did, our fallback will be just before the caretaker encounter. So you're going to want to lower your light so you can die easily and have some sort of explosive. And then you'll need to coat this area in stasis. If you end up spawning in normally, take note of where you spawned and make sure you cover that as well. And here we are, just before caretaker. But we're not at the beginning yet. We still have a little ways to go. We're just going to be going back to the room on the right here and loading back into acquisition. If you saw my previous raid video, you're probably already familiar with the little trick I'm about to show you. If you block this spot off with Stasis, you can respawn back at the beginning of first encounter. Well, I was off by a little bit there. I find it's easier if you... Wait. What? Henry? Henry, no!
Down.
Alright. Well... that didn't even work. What you actually want to do is just throw a grenade at the bottom of this area. It'll coat the whole bottom layer in stasis, and you'll easily be able to respawn at the beginning of first encounter. Now, all that stands between us and the totem is a very long drop. Luckily for us, we do still have stasis crystal, so we could climb up over the course of the next 10 minutes. Ha! I'm just joking. We're gonna use another fallback point instead. Just throw your stasis a bit behind this line here. Give it a nice thorough coating. Die and respawn. And with that, we are right in front of the totem. At this point, you can get to work on entering the code. Except for kill. That one doesn't seem to work. If you get it, you'll want to relaunch from CP to get a new code. Anyways, let's get going. First up, Pyramid. This one is quite straightforward. Don't know if you've noticed, but I only noticed when making this video that the symbol order is Pyramid, give darkness, Traveler, worship light, stop guardian, kill. So that's pretty easy to remember. And there we go. That's Pyramid. You can shoot them again to turn them off. I shouldn't have turned that one off, but Henry went back and fixed it a bit after this, so it's all good. Next up, Give. This one is easily reachable. You don't have to do anything special. Just before you would enter first encounter, there is another one of these locks. Once again, we just need to shoot the back panel, and we're good. At this point, we're going to need a sword. Go ahead and switch off of Salvation Script. It has outlived its usefulness. So we're going to be using the skip to first encounter that Corolla showed me for my previous video. Just go ahead and make your way back up to the top of the ramp, and we'll be flying across right about the top of this kind of bar thing in the side. Turn left at the corner and you'll be in first encounter. I believe the flag will be usable, so you can restock on ammo. I didn't really need much sword ammo for this part, so I just decided to go with this. Now we've got darkness. Just going to head and trigger that and turn it back off again since we don't actually need it. Now it starts to get a bit more interesting. We're going back to a room that we were at earlier, so naturally if you wanted to do the fallback again, you could go ahead and do that. Or if you had someone waiting there. Though of course, if someone was waiting, they're going to have to go load forwards and back to get the lock to actually show up. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for kill. It would be awfully nice if you could just jump up into that hole-looking thing there, but sadly, I could not. Instead, we'll just go through that bit of intangible wall and fly over to the bit of staircase that is sticking out here. We just need to hit the collection load. Once we do that, we can just die and show up at the default. Just going to fly down this little alleyway and turn around this acute angle and hit the load and die. Ta-da! And we're back here again. Previously we went backwards in this direction. But now we just need to go to the next lock. It's hiding up behind that pillar there. Very sneaky. But not sneaky enough. That'll open the door to Traveler. Not a symbol that we need. But once again I'll go ahead and show you that that is in fact what it is. Yep, that's a Traveler alright. That's the last of the ones that we can get from here. We'll need to rejoin back at the boss. You can see that the kill one is nowhere to be seen. Even if you were to have everyone go into the adjacent load and come back, it will still not show up. Do let me know if you find a way to actually trigger it. I'm currently skeptical that it's possible. We weren't even able to hit it from out of map. Guardian, however, is very much there. Last time when we went this way, it was not, but now that we've activated the totem, it should show up. There we go. Now we just need to head over to the doorway that opened up. And it is higher than I am right now. Whoops! I haven't really done this one in the code yet, so... Luckily it's not that bad to get back up to. And the Guardian symbol. Next up is stop. The rest of these are all at or before the jumping puzzle, so we're going to need to cross back across third encounter again. I would recommend that you take the path to the right again. It is much simpler. But then again, we might as well take this opportunity to stop and take a look at what the left side holds.
Resilient, but
Other than more Rhulk dialogue.
Conquer, moved pieces, turned gears.
I'm just gonna go and head over to where Henry is heading.
But performed aid. The abandoned
There will be a familiar surprise for us.
This world will be sealed from the light, leaving your kind to suffer. You are not fit to serve the deserving. You will not rise from the deep, but drown in it.
I'm sure you've noticed that all around the raid there are chess pieces. Well, here are a few more chess pieces that are a little bit less disturbing. Now, if you want to take the left path and continue like we did before, I'll be showing you the approximate route you'll want to take. Just going to get some height initially. You'll find that a lot of the walls that get in your way don't quite show up, which makes this inner route a whole lot more tricky than the sword flying route. Plus, there's a lot of areas that you'll get pervading darkness. There are plenty of areas to rest and remove the buff, but it can be hard to tell where they are. You'll notice that I just mantled there. Now that is important. There is in fact a invisible wall you need to get over. And now we are pretty much joined back up with the path from before. Just need to stay high enough to not have pervading darkness stack too high. And we can see again. So this time at this door, we're going to want to make sure that we stay on the outside. I would recommend hanging out for a moment at the front and then jumping on inside. And we're out. If you fail to do this, but an ally does, you can go again to join them. However, since they're already in that zone, the door will be there, and that'll kill you as soon as you hit the load. But luckily, you can use the IRB technique for a little bit of safety. Just die outside the door, then slowly walk in to make sure you die to the load, and then your ghost will show up just outside, and your buddy out there can res you. Thank you, Henry. That isn't something that you will likely have to use, but always good to know. Anyways, let's get back to stop. Just going to fly back across this treacherous bit. It is a lot less scary with a sword. And when you're not on Warlock. I guess Top Tree makes that not too bad. Unlock should be somewhere around here. Ah, there we go. Don't have too many stops to go before we've visited them all. And there's stop. Next up on the list is light. It's pretty easy to reach from here. Still no out of map type shenanigans. I can manage to get through this little hole here. And we're just going back to the very beginning of the jumping puzzle. An easy feat for a Titan holding a sword. I don't even need to swing it. And the next lock is just up here, and the door is a little bit over to the right. If I'm not mistaken, this is the last one that this instance needs. So we should get a message. Yep. Red chest active. Guess it's not gonna show us that plate. Oh well. You'll have to take my word for it. Onwards to worship. This one requires a little bit of out of bouncing, because some of the staircases are not quite in place. This is also the point that divides the first half and second half of the raid in terms of out of bouncing. Sadly, we are not able to go from the start to the end without completing either encounters or IRBs. And there we go. Got the last lock. And the final door. Looks like I don't get to shoot this one since the code's already entered, but I think we can go ahead and agree that that one's worship. Once you've gotten the 3 glyphs that form your code, promote your anchor back to lead and you can rejoin back on the boss.
You have served your purpose. All that awaits you now is the gift of death.
And hopefully a red chest.
Beyond your final days.
Well, that about wraps it up for this. Stick around if you want to see the run where we verified this works. Alright, we should get a red chest here.
Forgive me.
Yeah, there we go.